Hi, we're QuaranTV. My name's Dan, and we're here to help you figure out which TV shows to watch. First of all, we'd like to thank you all for taking time to watch our presentation. We're going to preview an app that we felt could help avid and new TV watchers alike while in quarantine. Our project is a web app that uses an API that we build in C# following MVC patterns that includes Entity Framework and SQL Server for database management. The front end is a single page app, or SPA, that uses a JavaScript component model for functionality and CSS for styling. The app revolves around users creating and editing a watch list of shows and reviewing shows you've watched to help others in your group decide what they'd like to watch. Our preview will contain a limited number of users in our group, meant to represent a group of friends and/or family. Only a group's members would view its members' watch lists and reviews of shows. In this way, you only read the reviews of people you want, so as to limit to the ones you really care about. You may value your friends' and family's opinions on shows because of your shared interests, but that may not be true for the internet at large. Thus, no trolls, no self-inflated critics. Organize your backlog, find out what you want to watch. That's QuaranTV. Now, Tatiana will talk about viewing the list of TV shows.
Thanks, Dan. My name is Tatiana, and as Dan mentioned, I will be introducing you to the display of our TV shows view. If we go ahead and click on the TV shows button in the nav bar, we can view all the TV shows in a list, which is meant to represent a collection of TV shows that we'd ideally grab from a public API like IMDb. Under the image name is a star rating that is an average of the ratings across the members of the group. When you hover over a single TV show, you can also see how many members are currently watching or have watched that TV show. We did this with a combination of a JavaScript functions and CSS. And as a quick preview, each TV show can be clicked on to display more information, including an image or poster, the number of seasons, reviewer discretion TV rating, and reviews made by members. We will return later to describe the comment section and its purpose. However, next Eric will talk about the members button view.
Thanks, Tatiana. So when we click on the members button up in the nav bar, it takes us to a list of members of a specific group. Like Dan had mentioned earlier, for the purpose of this presentation, we made this app as an example of a single group of users. This page is a gateway to access another member's watch list. Let's take a moment first to talk about logging in. On our homepage, you'll find the drop-down menu of that group's members. You simply select your username depending on which member you are. The name of each member corresponds to their ID in the user's SQL table. This ID is grabbed and sent to a special JavaScript container called local storage. It's saved here to be used later. Now, it's worth noting, this faux authentication system would later be replaced with a true authentication, most likely with a registered email address. Nonetheless, you'll see very cleverly, like our login system in front of us, a member will have personal access to features that others will not have. I can't say any more about that. Erin, why don't you expand more on the personal watch list?
Thanks, Eric. Now I'll be taking you through the watch list view and functionality. The watch list is where you can organize all of your shows within the app, and it's separated into shows you've watched, ones you're currently watching, and ones that you want to watch, which are placed in the to be watched column. And you can see that above the watch list, there's a button to add a show. You can select a status when adding the show, so you know if you're going to watch it, you're watching it right now, or you've already finished watching it. And we actually filter the shows based on the status property with if statements in JavaScript to put the shows in the right columns. This is what helps you organize your shows, and it also lets the other group members know what you're up to. If we click the Add Show button again, there's a special JavaScript function, so the dropdown doesn't display shows that have already been added, so there's no confusion. Once a show has been added, as long as you're logged in, you can edit the status with the Edit Show button. If you accidentally add a show you didn't want, or maybe change your mind about what you want to watch, you can click the Delete button to remove it from the watch list. And that pretty much sums up how we help you manage your binge watching during quarantine. Ghassan will now tell you a little bit about user access limitations and adding a review. Thank you.
Thanks, Erin. I am Ghassan. Now, currently we are on Dan watch list. so I can see the buttons, edit, delete, like what Aaron did 2 months ago. So if I go to visit like Ghassan watch list page, I can see his watch list, but without buttons. That is done by filtering JSON and JavaScript. So now if I register as login as Ghassan, now I can see the buttons. So now I want to make review for a specific show, add a review. Now I can write a review in text box area. And put rating. And when I press add a review, it will take us to the specific show which reviewed. And now Nabil, he will talk about comments. Thanks.
Thank you, Ghassan. I'm Nabil. At the bottom left of the screen, you should be able to find a button in order to see comments for that show. This comment section is for spoilers and post-viewing discussion, which is separate from the views, which are an overview of a show in addition to being spoiler-free. Reviews are meant to help members of your group decide whether a show is for them and whether or not they should spend time watching it. Comments are for spoilers and are meant to foster discussion with people that have already watched a particular show. In order to implement that, we have created a specific JavaScript component in order to replace that button with the Show Comment button upon clicking on it. Once on comment view, there will be a text area box at the top in which you can write the body of your comment. The comment author will then be determined by who you are currently logged in as through your phone authentication system. Finally, Dan will preview the About Us page.
Thanks, Nabil. If you click on the About Us navbar button, it will display the makers of the app with our individual pictures. Each of these can be clicked on to take us to our individual LinkedIn pages if you'd like to reach out. That's all for the presentation today. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe.